Diablo 4 just dropped a developer live stream, and this one is for their 30th anniversary. And we got a bit to talk about. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. One of the things I want to do, talk about the thing that I'm most excited about, and that is war plans. Now we're gonna get to the Warlock. Everybody wants to hear about the Warlock. I know we want to talk about the Warlock. Warlock. I get it. We're gonna talk about the Warlock, but first let's talk about the war plans because this is the thing I'm most excited about. So war plans is this thing where you get into the end game, and then you kind of have like this agency of how you play the end game. And you can kind of see here over on the left, you got your war plans UI, and then over here we'll talk about these notes here in a second. But if you ever played a game like a roguelite dungeon type game, like Cult of the Lamb, something like that, or maybe Hades, you get like these different ways and rooms of activities that you get to do here. Obviously this kind of looks like your Undercity, and then you got your Helltide, and then you got your option to do a lair boss, and then boom, Helltide again, and then I'm assuming you can only pick one of these three. And you can see up at the top here they got ranks, so it's like 3 out of 10. So it's like boom, 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 rank 1, boom, 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 rank 2, boom, 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 rank 3. You get the idea. Now what I don't know is if this tree size is like static, or if you get to like rank 5, this is just gonna be bigger, is it gonna expand out? We really just don't know. So we'll have to see how that turns out. And then of course over here on the right you've got your nodes here. So if you ever played Last Epoch, this is basically like their with their Weaver tree. And if you don't know what that is, it basically just passive things that like improve your gameplay, like spawning different types of bosses, more XP drops. How the timer maybe will get affected because we're talking about the pit here. You can see a lot of different tabs here. Like this is the pit, your lair bosses, Helltide, your Tree of Whispers, Curious Undercity, and then you've got your Nightmare Dungeons and then Infertile Hordes. I might have messed that up, but I think that's what that is. Yeah, for the most part. So you kind of get the idea, all these different tabs based on the activity that you're doing at the time. And like if Helltide had just started and it's active, you can come in here and juice up your Helltide. So I'm honestly pretty excited about that. That's one of the biggest things about Diablo 4 that I've had an issue with, is like deciding what I want to do and like what activities I can run that, grant me certain things. Like if I just want to go farm bossing materials, or if I want to go farm XP, there doesn't really seem to be a specific way to go do that. You kind of just have to do it and put your hands together and pray to the RNG gods that you get the drops that you want. And that's just not a ton of fun. So hopefully these war plans actually fixes that problem, but I guess we'll find out when it actually comes out, in the X-Pack in April. So moving on, we're going to talk about the Horadric Cube. I'm pretty curious about this. See if I can pan it up here. One sec, I gotta find it. Here we go, Horadric Cube. So, pulling it up really quickly there. I got lucky. I don't know what the timestamps are in this video, so you have to just bear with me. So we got the Horadric Cube here, and you've got like recipes here. So I am, at face value, I'm really curious about this. As a person that puts in several hours blasting the end game, being in Tournament 4 and playing meta builds, just me personally, this to me, I feel like I don't really get a lot of use out of this. We'll talk about set charms here in just a minute, but like the uniques, the legendaries, if you're playing like in Tournament 4, these are gonna drop like candy for you. So like what kind of, these grant like any sort of bonuses? Like surely they'll have to, right? Is there a way to get like GAs when you're crafting using the cube? Like what kind of things is it gonna add that improves my gameplay that I'm not gonna get just from getting gear, randomly just from drops? So what could be cool down here is like the rerolls, the chaotic reroll. That could be interesting here. I don't know what this means, transfigure the item. And then you've got add affix. So gear modification could be a lot of fun. This also could just be like adding onto gear like your rares and then upgrading it to a legendary, or it could be on top of it. It could be something really, really cool. So maybe I'm missing something here, but overall, like on face value, it doesn't look like something that, I might engage with a ton. At least not right off the bat, but, I'm just taking it here at face value. I could be way off based on that. But I'll be curious to see what it looks like in the end when it's actually released, right? So, moving on, let's talk about the Talisman and Charms. So let's just come over here. Let's see if I can find it here. Sorry, I have to pan back until we reach it. We'll talk about the skill tree rework here in just a minute. Echoing Hatred. One of the things that they talked about, and I'm just going to talk about this quickly, is called the Echoing Hatred, and it's basically this mechanic where when you're playing the game, you get like a chance to get this rare drop that lets you do this event called the Echoing Hatred, and it's an event that's like an infinite amount of hordes, and the further you go, the better rewards you get by the end of it. And it does look something that's a lot of fun. I like fighting hordes. I like the infernal hordes. So I'll be very excited about this in general. I'll definitely give it a shot. Like the only question is I have is like how far will the the drops of, like, let's say you reach tier 90 or something, like what kind of drops are you going to get from doing this? How far can you push to get, like, you're gonna obviously not gonna just push so far and just get a bunch of mythics, right? Like what's the cap on it? So I'm very curious, like what's the item ceiling on this, I guess I should say, be a better way to put that. But we won't know until it comes out, but I am very curious about that. So anyway, moving back on over to Talisman, so we can pan back over here while we're what we were originally trying to do. That's war plans. And then we talked about the new Scovos region that's coming out. We haven't talked about that yet, but that is something that's coming. Sorry, I have to pan here. I don't know all the timestamps. Talking about the skill tree work. Well, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. All right, finally found it. Sorry about that. Talisman. So Talisman looks like it's going to be like something that's in your inventory here. Luckily, they highlight it just conveniently with their tooltip. Talisman. And then you've got up to 6 here, and I think you get like a one that goes in the middle, I think. But they got, yeah, so it looks like this guy would go in the middle most likely. I'll press play and we'll watch it. But you got your 5 here, and I believe in the video they said that they're adding set items back to the game. So like these are set talisman. They didn't say outright they're adding set gear. So as far as I know, this is the only set items in the game. But most likely, don't be surprised if they start adding like set items like set weapons and set armors and set pieces like that, like they did in Diablo 3. Like, let's be honest, they're taking a lot of the popular things that they did in D3 and they're putting it in D4. So do not be surprised if they add that in the future. This is probably just them testing the waters on how the set items will work in the game. And then obviously, they're adding a 5th torment level at some point in the game. I don't know if it's coming with the expansion pack, but with these talismans, the Horadric Cube, and doing the juiced war plans, I'm sure we're gonna need another difficulty level to get through. And if you're playing a like a meta build, it's probably not gonna be a big difference to you. But just given the fact that we're gonna be getting talismans like this that are gonna juice your experience, if you're using something like obviously set items, you're gonna get these set bonuses, and they'll just make you even more powerful, and we don't even know what that looks like. It could be completely broken. So I guess only time will tell on that. I am curious to see like what kind of bonuses like these are going to add. I'm just going to press play in the video now while I'm yapping, and they'll kind of show us here like what kind of talismans we'll be dealing with here. So if you see there, he clicked on that little charm thing. I'm going to go back here in just a second. He clicked on it. Let's see what it is. Horadric Seal of the Honor. So this is a seal. And you get like some armor here. You cannot have more than 5 sockets, but can equip 2 unique charms. Charm set, Dark Pact, to get some damage bonuses, and you get some damage reduction here. So these are pretty good. And then press and play here. Alright, so here we go. Yeah, oh, he's clicking them way too fast here for me to pause on it. There we go. Got it quick. So here we go. We got, what is this? Set charm here. Lore of the Narrow Eye, or Lore of the Eye. I don't know how to say that. Whatever. You got the eye, okay? You got the eye. +3 to invigorating strike, like that's massive. And then you get like a bonus experience here. So do like all of the talismans just give you bonus EXP? That's kind of crazy if that's the case. Let's go back here. I want to see if I can pause them in time to just take a peek here and kind of get a sneak peek here of what this does here. So we looked at that guy already. Pause. Crafting material drop rate, that's pretty good. Oh, he went so fast I didn't get to see what it was. Damn it. And what? Yeah, he's clicking so fast I'm not able to see. But you get the idea. These things are adding bonuses that are going to just juice the hell out of your play experience. Very cool stuff. Pretty excited about that. We'll just have to see, what kind of other talismans they add to the game. I'm sure there's more than just those specific set ones, but I am curious about that. Moving on, let's talk about the skill tree enhancements. We already talked about the cube. We'll talk about loot filters here in just a little bit. You know what? Let's just talk about loot filters now. Why not? While we're already here, don't want to waste anybody's time. Loot filters. Pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you don't know what loot filters are, I'll go ahead and talk about them. So, you know how you're playing Diablo 4 and you see a bunch of gear on the ground that you don't like? Well, now you can filter them. That's a loot filter. There you go, easy. This is something that we've been wanting to add to the game for a very long time. Obviously, I'm very excited about it. It looks pretty trivial. And if to be honest with you, this is not a game like Path of Exile or Last Epoch where items just all different types of items are dropping. So this will probably be pretty easy to manage comparable to, you know, PoE or Last Epoch, but overall just happy in general that they're in the game. So very excited about that. Future that's long overdue. Glad it's coming. But yeah, moving on to skill tree enhancements. We gotta find it here. Talked about the Horadric Cube already. Talisman. Overall, I think the game is just headed in a, you know, really, really solid direction. Here we go. They're talking about the skill tree rework. I'm gonna pan to a specific spot in the video here where they show the before and after, and I really want to show that because it's just such a big thing here. So they're talking about it. They expanded out. Here's what it looks like before. You can see here. This is the Necromancer. And then after, bam, baby, look at that thing. It's huge. And they even made a joke in the video. They're like, oh, we've heard the jokes. It's a skill twig. Yeah, we get it. And now it's not. This is a tree. And they kind of didn't like that. They kind of pissed them off, and it motivated them to improve it, which I think is a good thing, obviously. And I think the biggest thing with the skill tree rework is that, you know, one of the biggest issues, especially for me, somebody who plays a lot of the meta builds when I play Diablo 4, is there's not a ton of build diversity, at least as far as like meta builds go. So I think that adding this is definitely going to shake things up a little bit, and it's not going to just be you're playing the same 8 builds on rotation between seasons, right? For the most part. You know, maybe 1 or 2 builds that you'd get were one-offs, like the Hydra build or maybe like the Ball Lightning build, but for the most part, most of the same builds stay pretty strong, and you know, other different types of builds you didn't really get to see. Well, I think this kind of fixes that, and I'm pretty excited about that. We definitely need more build diversity in Diablo 4. It doesn't hurt anybody, and I think people that, you know, want to play this game even longer, which I know Blizzard wants. Blizzard wants you to play the game longer. People like playing games that they enjoy longer, and if they have more reasons to play, such as more builds and more powerful builds, this will give them a reason to do so. So overall, definitely excited about that, and very curious about how, you know, all the different builds that are going to come out of this. I am not a build crafter, so I'm not one of those people. Maybe on X-Pac launch, I'll play blind and just play around with the new skills myself, but for the most part, I'm not a build crafter, you know. I'm just not one of those people. So I think that pretty much covers everything. You know, we talked about them adding Warlock to the game, they're adding him to Diablo Immortal, D4, and Diablo 2 Resurrected. Talked about the skill tree enhancements, loot filters, the talismans, the Horadric Cube, and the war plans. Overall, I'm very excited. Like I said, I'm pretty excited for the general direction that this game is headed in. It's adding more agency to the way you play Diablo 4 is my biggest thing. So if they give me like activities and things to do that, like for example, if I want to just go farm XP and I want to grind to Paragon 300, there should be a way for me to do that without having to just grind the pit. And or like last season, it was just grinding bosses for hours on end, and it's just not fun, and it gets so boring. And you log out and go play other games, and generally that's fine. But for people that want to actually hit Paragon 300 without wanting to, you know, bash their head into a wall, I think the war plans will solve a lot of those problems, and of course the build diversity will keep things interesting. So I'm pretty excited. I'm very curious. What do you think? Like, what's your overall thoughts? Is there stuff that you didn't hear, or maybe you wanted me to talk about and I didn't talk about? I'm very curious. Like, what's your feedback on this? Do you think this is good? Do you like the direction that Diablo 4 is headed in? Do you not like the direction that Diablo 4 is headed in? D4 bad? Is D4 still bad? Maybe it is to you, and that's fine. But I digress. I think overall, whatever you think of the game, I think this is a great direction for the game. I'm pretty excited, and I'm definitely going to be blasting in April. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. You're not obligated to, but it does help out the channel a lot. I think we're nearing 300 subscribers. Thank you so much. I have no words. Like, I never thought I'd get to 300. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about, or any Diablo 4 videos or Diablo videos in general you want me to talk about, and I'll jot that down. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.